Greetings, y'all. It's Matt from the Green Arcade. I am back playing some more Farming Simulator 25. So, you might notice a difference in the background behind me. We traded in our old Volvo wheel loader and the grapple with that, and we went with something just a little bit bigger. Something that can handle everything. Something that can handle the larger trees well, and the logs and stuff well. We went with the L180H. If you're going to do the logging, this is my recommendation. Because you get these trees that have the larger trunks. You get the stacks of the fir trees. You can pick these up a lot easier, a lot better. And it's just more efficient. So if you're going to do it, go big or go home. Alright, so we got that. I cut all of the big trees over here by the cornfield. We got the cornfield all done. We're going to have a big bonfire later. We've got all the limbs out here. We discovered that the limbs off of these trees don't really count for much. So there's no point in taking the time to load them up. So we're not gonna. We're gonna come out here. I've got a can of stuff over here. I said it right there. Good morning, Sassy. Good morning. Got a can of fuel right there. So we're going to come out to this field later and build a big bonfire and burn all the limbs. Yep, because we do not need those. Alright, so that's the update there. I've got 2 tractors going on contracts right now. Speaking of contracts, I probably need to go post this photo over in the Puma Plow Discord. Let me find it here. Yeah, I'll just post this in the general. So this was one contract. I couldn't believe it because all the other, and this was a plowing contract. All the other plowing contracts that I have done on that field have been like just under 200,000. That's what they paid me for that one contract for plowing that field. So. Yeah, if you have access to the Puma Plow Discord, go check that out. As far as the total in contracts, we've done well. We've done pretty good. So there's some out there. There's some harvesting ones out there, and then we've got 2 cultivating ones going down south over there. Go over to finances. Go down to today. So, contract income, it's right below the green line there. We've made $1 million in October. I got busy. I worked on this late yesterday, and I woke up early. I don't know if you want to say last night or this morning, but I've been working on a lot of stuff. So, contract income, we've made $1 million, over $1 million. There should be some harvest income. Where would that be at? Probably up here under H. No. Where's the harvest income? Did I pass it? Was it down here? I don't think it's that number. Oh, harvest income. I wonder if that covers, because I sold several loads of silage. I sold a couple of loads of lumber. And we got out of debt. I actually had the loan paid off. Well, not paid off, but I had it down to 1.5. One of the tractors out there that's doing one of the cultivating contracts right now is a brand new 8RX. The high horsepower 8RX. So we have the high horsepower 8R and 8RX now. I wanted to bring in the 7R and put it on the Krone baler because it kind of needs it. It kind of needs a larger tractor for that specific one. Good morning, Philip let's see, hang on, I'll get it. Philip Enrin, maybe? Twitchy, good morning. And Adam, good morning. I need to bring up my other page here so I can read stuff. to that. Go to this. There we go. I loved how somebody we signed off yesterday, and you know, John, he didn't stream yesterday. And the last comment in the chat, I think I had already signed off and ended the stream. And the last comment was from Nate Richards, and it was, "Where do we go now?" I was like, "Oh." Alright, so that's the equipment that we bought. I need to probably buy a grain cart. Maybe. If not, I can just empty into the truck I've got parked down here. And then we bought one more field. We made a lot of money there, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I gotta buy another field. Gotta pull the trigger. So we already bought those 2 soybean fields up there. The one behind this place here. I don't know what that is. It's the train loading place, I guess. I don't know. I'll have to look at the real name of it up. We bought the soybean field back behind there. And then there's a pretty good sized soybean field over here to the east of that. Yeah, east of that. I bought the other one down here. Yeah, it was close to just a little over $1 million for this field, but it's a really decent sized field. And I'm like, you know what? We will make that back and then some when we sell these beans. So I just went ahead and pulled the trigger and got it. So we're gonna keep continuing to work contracts every month. Anything that that comes up. And I'm guessing Fuzzy is not here yet today. He might not be here. He might have sent me a message too. I haven't checked my messages over here. I'll go in and look at that. But I was gonna have him put on his silage T-shirt because we need to sell a few more loads of silage. Wonder if we get soybean straw on this map. I don't know. Probably not. But we will check here. And unfold it. See, it's a decent sized field. This is the field. Pretty good size. We're gonna be here for a minute. Yeah, we're gonna be here for a minute. I'm gonna start just doing this myself here. And I'm gonna say there's not any soybean straw because I don't see any coming out. It should be set. Yeah, straw. No straw for this one. Okay, that's fine. We got straw from the oat harvest that we did yesterday. Alright, let me see. Over here. Nope, no new messages. Fuzzy may just be oversleeping or having a nice breakfast or something to that effect. I do know it's hot. Very hot. When your lows overnight are in the 80s, that's hot. And your daytime highs are close to 110. That's hot. But we got a chance for rain and maybe some storms starting on Wednesday. Granted, it's not a very big chance, but I will welcome any rain coming. And now they're saying that we're going to have a really big cool down. Not this week, but next week. The week after this week. So they're saying it's going to be a big, huge, like, Arctic cold front. So it's not going to be like freezing, but it's going to feel like fall. And I welcome that with open arms. I'm going to start singing some Journey here in a minute. I may just do straight lines on this field instead of doing the inrows. I think I've got enough room to turn around. Good morning, Fuzzy. I was wondering where you were at. I was like, where's Fuzzy? I said, did he send me a message? No. I figured you might have overslept or found a breakfast you just could not pass up. Yeah, I got plenty of room to do straight lines, so I think we're just going to do some straight lines. I might do an in-row here in a minute, but for right now, I'll just go straight. We're going to have the beans. Oh, issues, okay. Here he comes. I was going to say, I don't know if you heard me or not. Put on your silage t-shirt. We've got about 900,000 liters of silage left in the silo. I sold some early this morning. Let me double check the price again. It should still be pretty good. Prices. Silage. Nope, get over there. Go, get over there. Nope. No. Get over there. There we go. Base. I hope they change this up in the future. I never can get over to the crops. To the products. It always just... For some reason, by default, it goes back up there to the top, and I don't like the way you can tab through that. So we still have 901,000 liters. And we can go sell the silage at the animal dealer. So the highest price was at the biogas plant. That's where I sold it early this morning. But now it's at the animal dealer. So you want to go sell some loads of silage, Fuzzy? I am not opposed. Got the 2 contracts rolling. I've made over $1 million in contracts. And it's time to crack one open. There we go. Bought an 8RX. Traded in our old wheel loader on a new wheel loader, the L180H. We're good to go there, and we're going to try to have a bonfire later if we have time. Got a lot of limbs to burn down there. And then we may try to build the dryer. I did revert back to the old one. I had the old one still in the Google Drive, so I think it's the same one that you still had, Fuzzy. But the update to that, the fix to the update to that has not come out yet from Celebuki. So we will use the version that we had, and I believe the version that we had was the 1.0000 version. Pretty sure that's the one we had. It's not in the mod hub now. He took it out. He took it down. Alright, I'm going to do a couple inroads down here just to have a little more room to turn around. And I'll empty into the truck. I think that's the one that I've got. I think it's the 1.0.0.0. and I don't know what the updated number was. I would go to the mod hub and look and see what the changelog says, but the mod's gone now. He pulled it off until he gets it fixed. So kind of weird though. I mean, I guess he can't revert back to the one that was in there because it worked fine for me. I think he may be trying to add stuff to it or something. I didn't know there were any issues with it or anything, but it worked fine for us. So we'll just use that volume version 1.0.0.0.0.0. Whichever one we had for... I'm guessing it was the same one that we used over in Minnesota in Ray County. Silage to the animal dealer, yes. It's 223 down there right now. So anything, I'm gonna say anything over 220. After looking at the recent silage prices, they were horrible. A lot of them were under 210. I would say save it, and then we'll put it in our silo. And if there's any in the harbor store silos, there may be some in there. Grab that out of there too. But yeah, we'll save it until it gets over 220. 227 was the highest that I've seen. Unless you get one of those rare great demands, and I don't know how great they are, but 227 was the highest price that I've seen so far. But yeah, I sold silage earlier this morning. I sold lumber, 2 loads of lumber. Sold wood beams and some of the long boards. Said we ought to have plenty of wood chips. I actually, we finished up the corn chaffing yesterday on stream. Right after that, I went and checked the volume over at the sawmill, and it was still running, still processing, but there was only 782 liters left. I was like, oh, well, I need to go cut some trees. So I started cutting trees and took load after load after load up there. And we got it full again. I haven't checked it today. Yeah, there's still plenty in there right now. But it was down to like 782 liters. And I was like, man, it was in the red. Like, it was like running out of gas. So put some more wood in there so it can process and still make all that lumber. So it's running. I think I've got both chaff and grass going now. I guess I hadn't activated the chaff yet, and only grass was running. So we'll mow some grass and put some grass in there too. Get that filled back up. And I'm full. Hoping I can make it back to the truck, but no. I may just go ahead and start doing straight lines from here. We should see Fuzzy come driving by here shortly. Gonna take a minute to empty this. Well, that's taking longer than a second per percent down there. 3, 2, 1, 0, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. It's taking like a second and a half, maybe. There goes Fuzzy. And where you sell it at over there, I don't know where it's at. I think it's either there on the right or the left. In Riverbend, it was over on the left. In Minnesota, it was over on the right. So, good luck and Godspeed. Looks like it might be over there over on the left. Yep, I see his trailer over there. Yep, it's just like Riverbend then. Over on the left. In the shadows and to the left. Just like you said, Strange Lizard Man. In the shadows and to the left. The evil Emperor Zurg. Right. Getting them beans. And good morning, Farmer Johnson. Fuzzy's like, I love the smell of silage in the morning. It smells like victory. Still can't believe he's passed on now. Old Robert Duvall. I love the smell of, he didn't say silage, what did he say? He said, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Smells like victory. And row down here too. Just one. Yeah, I haven't seen the other one yet. And it's been a long time since I saw the first one. What was the second one called? Apocalypse Now, I think. haven't seen that one. I remember going to the, my grandpa was in the military, and we would go to a military base, and we go to like the PX, you know, and stuff like that. But we go, he'd have like a doctor's appointment or something like that, and we'd go and wait in the waiting room, and they always had it was like a military channel on in the waiting room, and they always had military movies playing on there. So they'd have like Apocalypse, and then Platoon, and you know, all kinds of different military movies, and probably shows too. I don't know. I remember seeing the movies. That was always fun, going to the military base. I was a very young lad then. Got to see all the army men and walking around, and you get to see all the equipment and stuff. Tanks and trucks, and got to see the helicopters and aircraft and all that stuff on display. It was pretty cool. Pretty neat. And say, if I thought I could survive boot camp, I might have enlisted in the military at some point. But I don't think I would have survived boot camp. I really don't. Number one, I like my pizza too much. So naturally, I was husky as a kid, or when it came to that time to make that decision of what I wanted to do in my life. I probably wasn't in shape, so they would have to, I'd either have to get in shape, or they'd have to, you know, put me in shape, which, you know, I guess the military could do that. But yeah, I don't even think I'm eligible for like the selective service thing, the draft. I think I'm out of the age range now. I think they only draft people to a certain age. I wonder what the ages are. I think it's 18 to something. U.S. draft age range. Apparently that's the most Googled thing when you type that in. The U.S. military draft registration age range is 18 to 25. Men must register for selective service when they turn 18, and they remain eligible for a potential draft call-up until they turn 26. And the U.S. has not used the draft since 1973. Your wife was in the Army? Cool. I think I've looked up like the military age ranges before. Military age limits, let's see. So, for the Air Force, I could maybe still enlist. Apparently they've changed this. This is not the same as it used to be. These were not that high. They have changed this. They've expanded it to an older age now. Because I know a lot of them were like cut off at late 20s, 30s, you know, somewhere in there. Pretty sure. I don't remember them going to this range. So Air Force, you can go 17 to 42. Army, you can go 17 to 42. Space Force, you can go 17 to 42. Wonder if I could qualify for that one. Navy 17 to 41, Coast Guard 17 to 41, and then the Marine Corps. I think the Marine Corps is still the same. Their age ranges are 17 to 28. So if you wanted to be a Marine, you have to sign up between the ages of 17 and 28. But yeah, they expanded the ones up there on, especially Army. I think the Air Force might have always been. It's either late 30s or early 40s. But yeah, draft-wise, I'm out of the window, I guess. I don't think they would draft me anyway. If they still had the, you know, a lot of the people that didn't get drafted before, like for, you know, World War II or Korea or the Vietnam War, they still had like the civil defense back then, so a lot of people did the civil defense type stuff. Yeah, I think it changed. You know, it says the 42 on a lot of these now, but, or 41, 42. The Marines, I think that one may still be the same, 17 and 28, but the numbers were, like the cutoff for you to sign up for them were a lot lower. Yeah. The Marines are. Yeah, that's I was gonna say you have to be young to be in the Marines, I guess. That's why they call them the few, the proud, the Marines. You gotta have mad respect for the Marines. Yeah, I guess maybe they raised those ages. I wonder if there's an article that says they raised it. Oh, I guess being a medical specialist or a medical professional, you can go up to the age of 48. Because I guess there's maybe a shortage of those type of people in the military. It says healthcare and ministry professionals often qualify for higher maximum age limits. Interesting. I don't see an article that says. Morning, Yulberry. Let's see. Okay, here's an article. So 4 months ago, the military raised maximum enlistment age limits. Previously, the maximum age limits were lower, typically capped in the mid-30s. So I was right. I remember looking this up before. I've talked about this before. So a lot of the different branches, I guess it depended on which branch it was, but a lot of them had the age cap to be somewhere in the mid-30s. I want to say it was 36 for some reason. 35, 36, somewhere in the middle, yeah. But 4 months ago, they raised a lot of them, maybe except for the Marines. So they raised it to, I guess, 41, 42. I guess if I wanted to be a Father Mulcahy, I could enlist still at 48. Or if I wanted to use my medical stuff, I could enlist it up to 48, I guess. But again, probably don't. Probably I'm not eligible. Guess I could always be a Minuteman. You know, back in the day when we had like the Revolutionary War. Sorry, Fuzzy. We kicked y'all's butt when we gained our independence. We had the Minutemen, like the militia and stuff like that, and there was no age limit. Basically, if you could carry a musket, you were eligible. So. They had old men out there carrying muskets, and you know. I guess you could be a cook. Being a medical professional, would I go through basic training? I'm sure I would go through probably some degree of basic training. I think everybody does. But being a medical professional, I would go in as a some type of officer. I don't know what that. I don't know where that would put me. I know back in the Korean War, doctors they had the automatic rank of captain, sometimes majors. Here goes Fuzzy with another load. Still in that beautiful silage footage. Here comes the money. Money talks. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Whatever happened to old Shane McMahon? I know Vince, there's rumors that Vince McMahon is coming back to the WWE. I don't know. It's still weird for me to say WWE. To me, it will always be the WWF. But they changed it because of the World Wildlife Fund. So they changed it to World Wrestling Entertainment so that the World Wildlife Fund could have the WWF.com, and, you know, so that there wouldn't be any more confusion between the WWF and the World Wildlife Fund. I didn't think there was any confusion to start with, but I guess those that don't watch wrestling probably like, you know, well, that's the World Wildlife Fund. That's their letters. WWF. No, the Undertaker's been making a lot of appearances, even though he's not technically active on the cards for matches and stuff. Kind of retired from that, but he'll come in and ride his motorcycle around. He's like the biker guy again. Yeah, they're close to getting done with them contracts out there. We're gonna be in this field for a minute. These other two soybean fields that we've got up here, they're not as big as this one. This one's kind of tall. But hey, the more beans we get, the more money we shall make. And I am about to be full. Pull off here. All right, let's talk Farming Simulator Next Generation. So, Farming Simulator 28 is going to be the presumed title of the next Farming Simulator game. We've got Farming Simulator 25 currently, and if they hold the same pattern that they've done, it's going to be Farming Simulator 28. What do you guys think we'll see? What brands do you think we'll see? What new crops do you think we'll see? What new advancements in the game do you think we will see? Any thoughts? Any wants? Any wishes? Any hopes? I have my own, but I'll wait and see what everybody says here. It's coming. We are less than a year away from the announcement of it. Probably going to happen in... the window kind of opens up in March. So it'll be probably March or April. Somewhere in there. What do y'all want? What do you want? Well, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Well, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Anybody have any wants for Farming Simulator 28? I have some hopes. Will they come to fruition? Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I didn't even think tornadoes would be in the game. I thought that would be something like, okay, tornadoes are kind of a traumatic thing. They might lose their E rating with those. But lo and behold, they brought tornadoes in the game. And I was like, well, could not believe it. I was just like, I can't believe it. In-game course play. Yeah. Something to the degree of that. It would probably have to be like their own thing, but I could see that. Either an in-game course play or a in-game auto drive or something. I would like to see, you know, something, and this may fall kind of into that category, but it would be nice to be able to hire a worker for any task. And that may be what they kind of merge or morph that into, is being able to hire out, let's say, your baler, being able to hire out your tipper or your grain cart driver. You think about all the jobs that you still can't technically hire out to this day. Those jobs like that, like baling and tipper drivers, grain cart drivers, you technically can't hire those out. Would be nice if you could actually be farm manager and, you know, just subcontract all that out. It's nice that we can do that with contracts, because I've been doing that. We can take the workers and subcontract out the contracts and hire the workers out. Yeah, it's a little money out of our pocket, but once you do the first few contracts yourself, you'll have enough money to pay somebody to do that work for you. So you're basically just subcontracting the contracts that you're taking out. Need to be able to lease land. I can see that. Yeah, in-game, not with a mod. Yeah. I'll tell you, especially if you're on PC, there's mods for almost everything. You think of it, and there's probably a mod out there for it. I would honestly like to see customizable crop calendars. That would be really awesome, because, you know, everybody in the world is in a different region. Everybody's in a different climate. Everybody's in a different part of the world, a different hemisphere. And the crop calendars are so different all around the world. Even just in North America, the crop calendar is different like the North versus the Midwest versus the Deep South, the crop calendars are much, much different depending on where you sit at in the 48 United States. So you think about, you know, your crop calendar. It'd be nice to be able to customize that and set this to whatever you want it in game. So you could set it up to do double crop. You could set it up to do, you know, planting at certain times of the year, harvesting at certain times of the year. It's different wherever you are standing at in the world. I think the bandit said something like that one time. I think he said something like, when you ask somebody something, it depends on what part of the country you're standing in as to how dumb you are. Which, that's kind of true, you know. If you're from the Deep South, you know, you probably know all the country singers and NASCAR drivers and everything, with the exception of course, Sean Sinclair. You know, he's way up there in the great, great North. But yeah, custom crop calendar. That's one of the, I would say that's in my top 10. I need to make a list of this stuff. You know what? I'm going to start one right now. Pull up my note thing here. FS 28. Crop calendar. Okay. I can hit this little thing here and then go empty again. Ooh, this is a big field. Alright, what are some other things y'all would like to see? And don't everybody speak at once, come on. Anybody? Anyone? Class? Anyone? Anyone? What do you want to see in Farming Simulator 28? Anyone? What kind of crops would you like to see? I've talked about what I would want to see. You know, I was super excited to see, you know, cotton and rice and soybeans when they came out, and we got oats and, you know, sorghum, you know, all that stuff. There's still a lot more to go. With 25, we got green beans, we got peas, we got spinach. I think we could see a lot along the terms of like rye. You know, bring rye into the game. That would be a pretty simple crop to do. I would like to see peanuts. Peanuts would be great. Maybe spelt. Stuff like that. More animal husbandry. Yeah. A case of feed and forget. Yeah. Well, they're kind of changing that up a little bit with the alpacas. So, when you shear the alpacas for their coat or fur or wool or whatever we want to call it, I guess it's technically not wool, but you actually have to go in and shear them with shears. Like they give you little electric shears. Stock ponds, yeah. Yes, definitely more American equipment. American pickups, American semi-trucks. Name brand stuff too, not just lizard, you know. It's nice that they've been using the lizard thing for, what, almost 2 decades? Really, almost, yeah, almost, let's see, I'm doing the math in my head here. Yeah, about 2 decades, yeah, we're getting close to it. Bring in the other truck brands. I was excited to see that they brought International in. You know, they brought Mack in 22. And then they brought International in. I was kind of shocked to see them bring the Ford tractors in, but they did. And there will be more Ford tractors coming out in the expansion pack this fall. Be nice to see Peterbilt. You know, I said alpacas before. I was like, you know, there's a lot of animals that they can still do. Alpacas was on that list. So, what else is on the list for animals? Turkeys. They can still do turkeys. There's a lot of turkey farms. Guess you could have an emu farm. Yeah, lots of crop that they could still do. Sky's the limit. Think about, you know, they could do cranberries now. Yes. I would love to see a lot of that older equipment in the base game. It would be nice to have it from the start, because, you know, often when they launch a game, they might do some older equipment, but it won't come out until months down the road. It'd be nice to have the smaller equipment to start with, and then come back and add in, you know, if need be, like the really fancy, bigger equipment. But yeah, keep that option there. Yeah, I don't really see them. We talked about, you know, there's been hemp crop before on Farming Simulator as a mod on different modded maps. I know Kaz64 did hemp on a lot of his maps, but it resembles too much, and it's just like tobacco, like you said. They would probably lose their E rating with those specific crops. I can say we will probably never see tobacco, we'll probably never see hemp, we'll probably never see the poppy plants. You know, even though poppy seed bagels are a popular thing, the poppy seeds, you know, they come from it's also done for opium. So the poppy plants probably will never, I would say would never come. I'd say never, but I don't think they will. We've said a lot of stuff, you know, never. We said fishing would never come, and look what happened, it came. We said tornadoes would never come, and they came. That's one thing that I would definitely put on my list, is the weather. So when you get in the game, so this says overcast skies, right? There needs to be a separate, well-defined weather setup when it comes to the weather. So if you're going to have completely overcast skies, there needs to be not any breaks in the clouds. No blue spots, no breaks in the clouds. A truly overcast sky is like just a gray sky. I know you've all seen them where it's just like a gloomy kind of, and you see them often in the wintertime. You'll see like just the gray sky, just nothing but cloud cover. Okay, no breaks in it. So if you wanted to have breaks in it, that could fall under the category of partly cloudy. And then if you wanted, you could have two options for breaks in the clouds. So partly cloudy could be like this. Have just a few breaks in it where the volume of clouds is more than the breaks in the clouds. So this would be partly cloudy. If you wanted more blue sky spots than clouds, you could call that partly sunny. And then of course sunny would be sunny. But then comes in like your severe weather. So wouldn't it be cool if you pulled up like your forecast down there and you had overcast, partly cloudy, partly sunny, sunny, and then a storm cloud. So you could do like a cloud with a little lightning bolt. We already get the tornado icon for tornadoes. It would be cool to have like a little cloud with a lightning bolt. That would mean thunderstorms. So if you had that coming up, say we had that coming up at 1 o'clock this afternoon, 1300. It would be really neat if at maybe an hour before, a couple hours before, hour before, I don't know, you could make that call. I guess maybe an hour before would do it. But the hour before it's supposed to storm, it'd be really cool to see like the storm clouds building on the horizon. Depending on which direction the weather is coming from, which depends on, I guess, where it goes back to that, depends on where you are in the world and depends on where you're at in America, as to where your normal direction your weather's coming from. That you could see like the storm clouds building on the horizon, like the cumulus clouds, That would be something that I would add to the game. Bring in separate designations for your sky conditions. So maybe an hour before, show the cumulus clouds kind of building up on the horizon, maybe flattening out on the top like an anvil. So you got like a thunderstorm coming this way. And then when you see that, you don't really have to, you can go in and look at your forecast. But if you're out in your farm field and you're out here harvesting like I am, and you see that cloud building up on the horizon and kind of anviling out on top, okay, that's a storm cloud. We're going to have some rain soon. We're going to have a storm soon. And then maybe when it gets closer, maybe 30 minutes out, of course times can change, but let's just say for this instance, 30 minutes out, you start seeing the clouds go from the white cumulus clouds to like a dark cloud formation approaching. Then you start seeing lightning bolts off in the distance. And then they can take that sound effect of the thunder, which they have thunder in the game now. You can hear it when it's, sometimes when it's raining. Take that thunder and crescendo it. So as it gets closer to 1 o'clock when the storm is supposed to hit, take that sound and just kind of crescendo it up from a very low volume to make it louder and louder and louder and louder. And then when it gets here, it's like, full volume. And then it's like lightning, and, the lightning actually causes like flash effects on your equipment, on the crops. So you actually see like somebody taking a picture, like an old picture, not like the new ones. Like a strobe light. It'd be cool to see like the actual flash effect of the lightning. I know I'm asking a lot of this, but it would just be so cool to have that. Peanuts is coming to FS25 at the end of the month. Yeah, from, who is that? Connect? Was it Connect Modding? Yeah, I'm saying not as a mod. I'm saying base game. We're talking about from Giants. What do we want to see in Farming Simulator 28 from Giants as a base game thing? Yeah, I was kind of shocked to see they were bringing coffee, although the coffee that they're bringing is like a vineyard type thing, but yeah, a different repair system. I've always said, right now you just hit a button and repair, and it's just a thing. But it'd be nice to be able to, and with the dense stuff, we've seen him bring in the IC control where you can change like your air filter, and stuff like that. That would be cool to do. Have certain things on the tractors and equipment to change: air filters, oil filters, fuel filters, um, belts, um, dedicated part repair. It would be really cool to go into the local shop and have to buy an oil filter. Now you could keep the repair meter down there in the bottom right, but maybe have it under equipment. So if you went into this one here, so there's the used vehicle sale. Maybe like under vehicles, maybe they could have another tab in here or something like that, where it could be like or just a vehicle tab where you could go under repairs and you could see what you needed repaired on each tractor or each vehicle. Is that the last of the silage? Alright, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a grain cart and let you come run grain cart if you want to. Gotta find something that works with this small. Could go with a J&M again. I think that one right there, the Brandt's probably going to be the goal. Kinsey's there in the Elmer. Said the Demco is cheaper. Yeah, we'll do J&M. Granted, it looks like one of the contracts is done out there, so I'll go collect that. 72 grand. Or wait, maybe they're both done. They are both done. Alright. So 72 grand and 55 grand. Not a bad payday. Alright, but yeah, what crops would you guys like to see? I know there's more out there. Honestly, I would like to see alfalfa become base game. Alfalfa is one of the more popular means of, it's a type of like grass type crop. It would be nice to have that. Clover would be nice as well, but I think especially alfalfa. Have that base game. I think every modded map, including a lot that are on console, have had alfalfa. We had that back in maybe 19, but especially in 22. And we're getting coffee and stuff with the expansion pack. I think they could do, now that they've figured out a way of doing like rice, where you flood the field, I think they could do cranberries. I was honestly kind of shocked that they brought fish into the game. You can go fishing. You know what we need? You know what we need? We need shrimp. Shrimp is the fruit of the sea. There's all kinds of shrimp. You can have coconut shrimp, lemon shrimp, pepper shrimp. You can saute it, boil it, broil it, barbecue it. You have shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp salad, shrimp and potatoes, shrimp burgers. Oh, really? And then, yeah, what they need to do is, the thing is with the modded alfalfa, it's not optimized. So that's why Giants needs to do it. Giants needs to put alfalfa in the game and optimize it to where it can run on, consoles. Because if it can run on consoles, most likely it can run on your PC. I know mustard would be another crop that they could do. Critical. Back to spelt again. And there's different hybrids of certain crops, which that's one thing that you could put in as a mod, I guess, if you wanted to. But just get the main crop as a base game crop. Like there's a lot of different hybrids of corn, a lot of different hybrids of soybeans, but we have just corn and soybeans. It would also be nice to see, base game, the drying process. Being able to be able to dry your crops, that would be fantastic. And then I've always said orchards would be a good one. The market for orchards is so big. That's going to be a big one. You think about everything that can come in an orchard. You think about what grows on trees. Money doesn't grow on trees. But if we had orchards in Farming Simulator, it literally would, because you would have access to all kinds of different crops that grows on trees. You think about all the fruits. There's so many to think about, I probably would forget them all. My first, thing to think about would be apples. You have apples, you have pears, you have cherries, you have oranges, you have lemons, you have figs, all kinds of stuff grows on trees. And then you got these nuts that grow on trees too. So you think about walnuts. You think about, what's the other nut? There's another nut that grows on a tree, I know. I think I've talked about it before. But there's a lot of nuts that grow on trees. And you think about all the equipment that you can have when you get to the orchard part. You know, there's a lot of custom orchard equipment that are specially made for harvesting crop out of trees. You got the ones that go down through there, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen these or not. They go down through there and they prune the trees. So it's like this machine that has like these big spinning, it almost looks like a windrow rake that has choppers on the blades, and that spins around. And then the things, the chopper parts spin around too, and then it goes down through there, and it will prune a path down in between the trees. And then you have a machine that goes around the base of the tree and wraps a little upside down umbrella on the base of it, and then it shakes the tree, and that's how you get the fruit and the nuts and, you know, whatever you're growing in your trees, in your orchard. Lots of opportunity with orchards. Again, there are mods that you can do orchard stuff with, but it's not to the level of, you know, what Giants could put in there. I think to add to that list, I'm going to put larger maps. I think console is ready for larger maps, because the standard size map, you know, there are some that come out smaller than the standard size, which the standard size now is what, a 2x map, right? So I think console, especially with the upgraded ones that have come out and the upgraded ones that are coming out, could handle larger maps. Be nice to have a 4x map on your console, right? Yes, it would have to be optimized, but I still think it's a possibility down the road. Yeah, flax, yellow peas, chickpeas, lentils, mustard, durum. Again, there's probably a lot of crops that I have not heard about that you can put in. Good morning, CB Gaming. How's it going? Probably should have turned and got that little strip there. I'll come back and hit that one. Going great? Good. We're talking about wants and hopes for Farming Simulator 28. What do you hope to see come to Farming Simulator 28? Because the announcement for that is less than a year away now. We're about 7 to 8 months away. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got, I would say that the PS5 Pro could probably handle a 4X map. It would have to be optimized, so it would have to be selective, but it would have to be optimized for that console to handle it. The Xbox Series X, maybe. But yeah, hopefully when they get the next gen out, and they'll probably wait. It'll have to be out for a year before they even probably consider it. I would have thought, you know, tornadoes would have been one of those things. Like, if you would have asked somebody before Farming Simulator 25 was announced, can we have tornadoes in the game? And they probably would have been like, no, that's probably they'll probably lose their E rating if they put tornadoes in the game, or no, the consoles can't handle tornadoes, right? Because of the hardware limitations. Graphically, they cannot handle it. Hardware-wise, they cannot handle it. But look what they did. They brought tornadoes in. I don't know. I think it all depends on optimization and development. Just basically just game development. I really wouldn't think they would have brought in rice, where you could come in and flood your fields. I always said if they ever brought in rice where you had to do that, they would have to have dynamic ground. And then that's another thing that I still think would be like probably a long-term goal, but would also still be a possibility in the future, would be dynamic ground. I know there's some modded maps that you can do this. I think it's PC only in this market right now, but you can come in with a backhoe, excavator, bulldozer, box blade, leveler, scraper, all of that stuff, and terraform your areas on your map. I put the thing down. Okay, I hit the button. But again, this is all just theoretical, hypothetical hopes and wants for the future of the game. And what can they do? The sky is the limit as to what they can do. Think they should still work on the bugs and stuff out of 25? Yes, absolutely. Because there are some bugs. And it's like when they release an update, they fix one bug, and then there's 3 or 5 new ones. And often they interfere with mods. You think about, you know, they've kind of promoted productions ever since they announced productions in what was it, 22? Because we had the global company back in 19, and that technically was our production stuff. Everybody and anybody that had access to the global company stuff had it. You could do productions with the global company stuff. You could do the geos with the global company stuff. A lot of different options with that whole global company era. And you go back and look at the history of Farming Simulator releases, oftentimes mods that come out on PC become future base game items. Look at Seasons. Came out with SamuelBatistaModding. They did Seasons first, and then lo and behold, Giants announces seasons or base game. You look at logging that came out in Farming Simulator 15. Started as a mod in 13. And then later came out in base game Farming Simulator 15. You look at vineyards. I made the prediction that they would come out with vineyards when we were playing Farming Simulator 19. And lo and behold, Farming Simulator 22 announcement rolls around. We're getting vineyards. We got grapes. We got olives. There's more stuff in the vineyard that you can do. I think coffee is coming now. That looks like that's going to be a vineyard thing. And don't forget, there are some more crops that are coming to the expansion pack that they have not announced yet. So they announced coffee. They announced alpacas. There are some other crops that they have not announced yet. Please don't be the cat poop coffee. You gotta lose your E rating if you have cat poop coffee. I'm sure it won't be labeled as that. It'll be labeled as whatever y'all called it. But please, no cat poop coffee in Farming Simulator. I do not want to see a kitty cat scrolling across, pooping out payday bars, and then somebody picking up the payday bars and making cat poop coffee. I still can't believe that's a thing. That's just... And you know, you can say, well, it's a delicacy. It's a premium thing. I'm like, what? Who decided to start eating fish eggs? Who decided to start eating snails? I mean, caviar, escargot. You can rename it to whatever you want to rename it. It's still going to be cat poop. Cat poop coffee beans. Coffee beans that have been pooped out by a cat, and you decided to brew them up as a coffee. No, I'm still going to pass. It's going to be a hard pass for me on that. I will take the regular coffee beans, please. Maybe a mocha. Has that a little chocolate. Maybe a little caramel. Some cream. Maybe a little the whipped stuff in it. Yep. What? Bird vomit is a delicacy somewhere? No. 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 Bird vomit. Birds that eat worms. What is it used in? I have to know. We're already in the rabbit hole now. I have to know, what is bird vomit used in? What is it, like a condiment or bird vomit? I can make a TV show based on just the weird stuff that people eat and drink. People gets killed harvesting it. What? Do they get pecked to death by the bird? I need more info. And I don't know if I want it, but I guess I need it now, because so they bird vomit to make a nest that's harvested and eaten. People gets killed harvesting it. Oh, it's spit, not vomit. Well, that makes it better. So bird spit. And let me say that clearly. Spit. S-P-I-T, okay? Change one letter in that, and then we've got the whole cat poop coffee all over again. So, bird spit. It's a bird loogie. What do they use it in? Saliva. Okay? That's okay. What do they use it in? We've established that it's ejected from the mouth. What do they use this in? What is it used for? Watch, it's probably used as some kind of butter or margarine or something. Coat your biscuit with bird saliva. Or bird spit. Or a bird loogie. I think clams would fall under that category. Who decided to eat clams? Like, oysters. Roy. Raw oysters. Who decided to start that? The bird makes its nest with it. Then some poor dude climbs some cliff, and some gets killed doing that to get the nest and make a Are you saying soup? It's used to make soup. Oh no, bird vomit soup? No, Look, it's about to be soup weather again. And y'all are really turning me off to soup. What's it labeled under? Is it labeled as bird vomit? Bird saliva? Bird spit? Bird loogie? Used in soups and drinks? Which drinks? I feel like it should be on the shelf right next to the tequila that has the worm in it. So here's your bottle of tequila with the worm in it, and here's your bottle of whatever the drink is with bird spit in it. Premium versions of high-end establishments can exceed $1,000 per bowl of soup. Why does the weird stuff always be so much more expensive? Are there any like extreme health benefits to eating this weird stuff, or is it just somebody did it on a dare and, like, you know, was very No, don't say that. I'm pretty sure that my pizza does not have bird spit in it. Nope. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I rebuke that statement. No. $1,000 for a bowl of soup. Maybe the reason why it's so expensive is because the people that are eating that bowl of soup are evil. Like the same people that bite the heads off of bats and drink their blood. Stuff like that. Ew, ew, ew. No. Wonder the stuff like that. What are they listed as one of the ingredients in the soup? What do they officially call it? Because I guarantee you they don't call it bird spit. Just like the cat poop coffee, they don't call it cat poop coffee. They call it something else. It's got like a real fancy name. Sounds like something that a witch would do, you know. I've never had not one oyster. It don't have to be a Rocky Mountain oyster. It don't have to be a Deep South oyster. It don't have to be a Massachusetts fishing industry oyster. I'm not going to eat an oyster because that's just gross. Animal produce. That's what it's listed under. Not listed under. May contain bioengineered bird spit. What's that heading mod called? That is the enhanced vehicle mod. You can find that on GitHub. The PC only mod. Enhanced vehicle. So I can use the in-game line, which is what I'm using right now. If I disengage that, let's see, there we go, disengaged. I can lock that in, and I can set that to, you can kind of customize it, and you can set it to whatever you want to use. So if you're going 270 degrees, you're going straight west. If you're going 90 degrees, you're going straight east. And then 180 is south, and 0 is north. And then, you can kind of just know your headings from there and decide which way to go. But yeah, nice mod to have if you're mowing or working in an area with some type of implement that is not a field. So if you're creating a new field from like a meadow grassland that wasn't already a field, you can make your lines nice and straight with that. Enhanced vehicle mod. EV mod. I would type it all the way out though. Enhanced vehicle mod, and the source to download it from is GitHub. Be leery of downloading it from anywhere else. Get it from GitHub. I will eat Rocky Road ice cream, but not Rocky Mountain oysters. Bull testicles. That's what a Rocky Mountain oyster is? No, I'll pass on that one. I'll pass on that one. That gives me a flashback to that movie. What's that movie? Oh gosh, what's that movie with Chevy Chase in it? Cowboy caviar is another name for it. Yeah. Gross. Was it Funny Farm? I think it was Funny Farm was the name of that movie. He goes into a diner, and there's like a record for how many things a certain, I can't remember what the name, what that they used for it was, but he started eating them, and he closed in on the record, and he's like, well, I can break that record. So he goes and breaks the record, and goes like one or two past there, and they tell him that it's sheep testicles. And then he looks up, and he's like, he just got the deer in headlights look in his face. Good morning, CM Gaming. How's it going? Yeah. No, I'm gonna stick to my non-bird spit pizza and my non-cat poop coffee. And a lot of people get sick eating oysters, like the raw oysters. I know they recalled a lot of Walmart tomato soup. If you bought any Walmart tomato soup, they've just recalled a whole bunch of it. I'm in the market for, I'm looking for a good tomato basil soup. I'm betting that it probably doesn't live up to the standards that I'm looking for, though. Probably gonna do something that I have to like actually make it either in a crock pot or make it from scratch. Ugh. No. Not even on stream would I eat a bull testicle. Nope. I remember John ate like a jar of mayonnaise on stream one time. but I don't have a camera, so even if for some reason that became an idea, I still wouldn't do it. A lot of people find chicken liver and gizzards gross. Now that is a southern thing, I would say. It may not be an exclusive southern thing, but that's a pretty big southern thing. You can walk into any gas station in the deep south and you can sure get you some chicken liver and gizzards fried. I used to work for Sears long time ago, and we probably had 40 delivery drivers over the course of the years, and we had one guy that I would go help sometimes deliver stuff, install some appliances, stuff like that, and he would always stop at this one gas station, and he would get like the big paper bags. And I'm not talking like a little lunch paper bag. These were like big grocery store size paper bags, like you put your groceries in. And he would have them fill that thing up with chicken liver and chicken gizzards. And he would eat on those things all day long. Which modded John Deere is this combine? This is one that I found on itch.io. It is the 8820. I want to say that this might be one that was converted from 22 or 19. And I'm trying to remember who the original mod author might have been. It might have been Rooster, or it might have been... I don't know, I'd have to go and try to look it up and see. Fried mullet roe. Okay, what's that? What animal and what part of said animal is it? I'm afraid to ask, but you know, I gotta know, I guess. For context. Can't be bird spit. We've already covered that one. Bird spit soup. Can't be cat poop coffee. It is the egg sac from a type of fish called a mullet. Well, we've circled back around back to fish eggs again, guys. These are fried. So at least they're cooked. But I'm probably still gonna pass. And it's really just the egg sac, right? Does it have eggs in it? Are they cooked? I almost don't want to know. Like they fried the sac, but maybe not the eggs inside? Maybe the eggs inside are boiled if they fried it? Eggs in it? Yeah, I thought so. I've seen fried deviled eggs. Have you guys seen those? So basically you boil an egg and then you do like the whole workup for a deviled egg and then you deep fry that. I'd be down for that because I like deviled eggs. Your deviled eggs, so you take the yolk. I think there's maybe mayonnaise and mustard involved, paprika. And then some people use dill pickle. Some people use the little gherkins, like the sweet pickles. That's what I use. I'm not really a big dill pickle on my deviled eggs kind of guy. I'll eat a dill pickle spear or dill pickles on my burger or something like that. But as far as on my deviled eggs, I want the sweet little gherkin pickles, minced up. Put in the mix, and then add a little pepper to them. But if you deep fry them, I don't know. I guess I don't know how that process works, but I've seen pictures of it and they look good. I'd be down for that. Deep fried deviled eggs. Deep fried deviled eggs and some deep fried chicken burger. Just deep fry the whole chicken family there. Deep fried eggs and deep fried chicken and you can deep fry just about anything. I've had deep fried Oreos, man. Woo. My mouth's just watering thinking about those. You never had fried Oreos? Fried Twinkie? I still have not had a fried Twinkie. But it's basically the same stuff that you do like funnel cake and stuff like that in, and then you add powdered sugar to it, and you can top it with really whatever you want to do. Fairs, carnivals, stuff like that often have stuff like that. It's usually better there. Probably not as sanitary, but it's usually better there. But you know, that's good old-fashioned American grease, you know. It's not bird spit. It's not. Eggs inside are cooked too. Okay, I thought when they deep fried it, they probably boiled them or something. They're very oily. Oh. So what you're saying is there's gastronomical consequences to eating too many of the mullet stuff. The mullet roe, okay. Well noted. I promise not to eat too much of that. Probably won't eat any of that, but yeah, no. I feel bad for the people that are like lactose intolerant. I mean, I know there's gastronomical consequences with that, you know, it gives you gas and stuff like that, but there's some stuff that, and I can vouch for this, some of you that have been here for a while have heard my tale of the Indian story, the Indian food story. I don't do Indian food. If it's anything curry based or Indian that comes from India, or you know, anything related to Indian food, I don't do it. I've decided to devote my life to sticking to, you know, the traditional, well, maybe not traditional, but American food, American-based food, stuff that's pretty much safe. Probably stuff, it's probably food from other places, like, okay, the pizza probably came from Italy originally, but it's become an American pastime food. The cheeseburger has become an American pastime food. Barbecue has become an American pastime food. So, yeah. This is why I don't travel. I don't want to take the risk of eating bird spit soup and drinking cat poop coffee when I don't know. You just don't know. Yeah, okay, so soul food. Soul food, if I can get the words out. Basically just, you know, fried chicken, steak, potatoes and gravy, cornbread, green beans, peas, you know, all that stuff. I'm down for like the soul food kind of style cooking. Basically, if they serve it at Cracker Barrel, I'm down. Come on, Matt, live a little. No, I would say if I ate that stuff and realized it, or somebody told me, I probably wouldn't be living a little, because I would have a heart attack right there. Been there and done that. So, yeah, collard greens, yeah. Black-eyed peas. You gonna eat your cornbread? Morning, Big Al. Yeah, fried okra. Fried okra's good. My mom used to put the boiled okra in her soup, in her vegetable. We made a vegetable beef soup, and we always had fresh vegetables from the garden. So the tomatoes, the vegetables, everything that pretty much went in there came from the garden. Boiled okra. Fried okra's good. Now we've already covered mountain oysters. I want no bull testicles today, Twitchy. Now that I know what that is. If I ever see that on the menu, I'm gonna be like, next page. Okay, what's on the next page? If they're serving that at a restaurant, I'm probably gonna go just straight to like maybe just the appetizer section and look for something familiar, like corn nuggets or fried okra or something. I'm not if I don't know what it is, then it's probably not safe. A lot of times they'll have fried green beans where I work at. They'll do fried okra, they'll do fried green beans, they'll do fried squash, fried pickles, fried broccoli bites, which is like broccoli with cheese that's been fried. Trying to remember if there's anything else. I do like Chinese and Japanese. There's some select stuff that I have to know ahead of time what it is, because I've been to a Chinese buffet one time and they had like an actual octopus or squid legs that still had the suckers on the tentacles. And yeah, no, I'm gonna pass on those as well. So calamari, nope, not gonna do that. I'm down for any kind of lo mein or fried rice or crab rangoons. I like crab rangoons. Pot stickers, which are, you know, also called dumplings. The sugar biscuits, I don't know what the official name for those are, but they're just basically sugar biscuits that have been deep fried. Yep. I don't think I've had the fried ravioli. I know John has talked about that before. He's talked about having the fried ravioli. I've had ravioli, but not fried ravioli. All stuff I need to try. Well, not all of that stuff, but fried ravioli. Let me be clear. Fried ravioli. Yeah, I would say 90% of southern food is fried or deep fried. You're right. Yeah, I could see squid being rubbery or tasteless. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why would you try a ravioli? If you're thinking of ravioli that's different from the ravioli that I'm talking about, then apparently it's pretty good. I've heard people talk about it before. You've been a chef in Europe, and that would have been a chef killing fried ravioli? Ooh, a fried stick of butter. Get the double whammy of artery clogging goodness there. Deep fried butter. course, you know, in Europe, I don't know about all of Europe, but they have, you know, in the UK at least, they have like bangers and mash and several different unique things. But they also have spotted dick. And I always get a snicker when I talk about this, but you have to just look up spotted dick. That's literally what they call it. It's a dessert of some kind. Oh yeah, haggis. No, I'm not doing haggis either. But yeah. What specifically is spotted dick? I know it's some kind of like dessert roll type looking thing. It actually doesn't look bad. It looks good. It almost looks like a some kind of pastry looking thing. Kind of like some of the real fancy baklava type looking stuff that you see. It's a steamed sponge pudding. Okay. Real haggis is illegal in the U.S.? Is it really? Oh boy, I gotta go look at that now. What makes it real haggis? Because I know it's like sheep's heart, liver, lungs, stuff like that. And usually they mix it, they put in like onions and, oh gosh, what all they mix in there with that? Real haggis uses a type of offal that is banned in the USA. What is that? What is offal? Oh, because of the lungs? The government says it's not safe for human consumption. Okay. Alright, well, I wonder why. I wonder if it's something to do with the fact that lungs are like a huge source for like bacteria and stuff like that, or internal organs is awful. Okay. Yeah. I think Gilberry and Darkthorn answered that one. What is awful? I can tell you what awful is. All that stuff that I'm not gonna eat. That's just awful. Bird spit soup. Probably awful. I've never had it, but I'm gonna label it as awful. I'm probably saying awful wrong by the time I'm reading it. Awful. What's that thing that they eat here in the Deep South? What is that? Oh, it stinks. What is that? It's internal. It's like intestines or something. What is that? Somebody knows. Yeah, awful. AWFUL. The general term for heart, kidney, and liver. Is it chitlings? Yeah, I think it's chitlings. Isn't that intestines? Yeah, chitlins. He typed it as chitlings, but if you say it right, and you're from the Deep South, it's chitlins. You gotta take the G out. Chitlins. Yeah, I don't know about heart, but the liver, I know that sometimes they'll tell you for the livers, like chicken livers and stuff, that's a good source of, if you have like an iron deficiency, they'll tell you to eat some like chicken livers and stuff. Yeah, they usually have it around, you'll see it around, like holidays and stuff. People will make it. So like Thanksgiving, Easter, stuff like that. They'll that's something I think typically they here in Deep South anyway. They specifically make it around the holiday type things. And sometimes they'll just make it just to make it. Probably back in the day they probably ate more of it. Scrapple? Like the drink? Oh no, wait, that's Snapple. I'm thinking, I'm getting my Snapple and Scrapple mixed up. What's Scrapple? Y'all see where Ham from the Sandlot is now doing commercials for Hershey's, and he's making s'mores with his kid? I think that's awesome. And then at the end of it, he's like telling his kid how to make a s'more. First, you take the cracker. You stick the chocolate on the cracker. Then, you roast the mallow. When the mallow's flaming, stick the mallow on the chocolate, and then you cover it with the other end. Then you stuff it. I think scrapple is pork, leftovers, trimmings, organ meat. I like fried pork chops though. I like fried pork chops. I'll eat a hot dog though, you know, hot dogs are normally, that's like some really seriously, probably disgusting processed meat. Scrapple is everything but the squeal with seasonings. So like pepperoni. Saw where people make so you have, you know, your standard issue s'more, right? It's usually the graham crackers for like the coverings. Then you have your several pieces of flat Hershey bar chocolate, and then the marshmallow. I've seen people take, you know, the fudge cookies from Keebler. I forget what their real name is. They have a, I think it's kind of like almost like a graham cracker cookie, but it's not really graham cracker. But it's like a fudge, not a fudge round, that's Little Debbie. It's like the fudge something, I can't remember what they're called. They got a name. But they have drizzled fudge on top, and then there's like, they have a whole layer of fudge on the bottom. People take that, and then they put their marshmallow. I'm getting my M's mixed up now. Marshmallow, not mushrooms, marshmallows. You put your marshmallows that you've done, cooked up, and put them in between two of those cookies. Fudge stripes, that's it. I was getting there. It's not fudge rounds, fudge stripes. Yep. So you basically make a s'more, but instead of graham cracker, you use the fudge stripe cookie from Keebler. That looks awesome to me. I haven't tried that, but I guarantee you there's nothing wrong about that. I have seen where they have like cinnamon covered graham crackers. I bet that would be good too. Used to make take the cinnamon graham crackers and take some Cool Whip and put that in between two of the pieces of the cinnamon graham crackers, and then you put them in the freezer, and then you take them out later and you can eat those. Those are awesome. Like a kind of like a little modified homemade ice cream sandwich. Are we done yet? We gotta be getting closer. Oh yeah, we're well over halfway now. We're getting there. The process does go faster when you have a grain cart driver. And then when we upgrade our combines and everything, it'll go way faster. Yeah. Fudge rounds are made by Big Deborah. She can't be Little Debbie after all these years. Nope. They had a new fudge round I saw in the store, and I can't remember what the flavor was. It was probably one of those limited edition, limited time things that I probably would have tried back in the day, but probably not today. Can't remember what it was though. We are getting closer to the holidays though, so that's usually the only time I eat anything kind of within that genre of snack. So the Pumpkin Delights, I think is what their official name is. Those will be coming out soon. September, I would say, probably. I like the Pumpkin Delights. And then at Christmas time, you can't really be an American if you don't like the Christmas tree cakes. And now there's a specific kind that I get. You have to get the big pack of Christmas tree cakes from Little Debbie. If you're getting just the regular pack, you're getting the wrong kind. Those, I don't know what it is about them, but those taste very waxy and very dry, and they are much smaller than what they used to be. If you buy the big pack of the Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes, that's what they used to be back in the day. I don't know when they first came out, but in the 80s and 90s, the Christmas tree cakes were straight on the edges and much bigger, and I hate to use that word, but they were very well hydrated, and they tasted fresh. I mean, they tasted fresher. It's kind of like how what has happened to like the zebra cakes. I've had the regular zebra cakes. They don't taste like zebra cakes used to taste. Which the Christmas tree cake, to be honest, that's what it is. It's a zebra cake, but it's got the green sprinkle things on it and the red stripes on it instead of the chocolate stripes. But the original zebra cake was much bigger than it is now, and it didn't taste so waxy. Yeah, I don't care for any of the stuff that they have now that they sell as, whatever their regular stuff is. And again, the only time I buy them is like I'll buy one box of pumpkin delights and probably one box of Christmas tree cakes. I might buy a box to take to work to give to the ladies at work because they like them too. But yeah, as far as like the regular standard issue stuff like that, yeah, it's no. It's gonna be a no. Yeah, one of the ladies at work brought some homemade cinnamon rolls. And those were good. They weren't dry. A lot of times you'll get a cinnamon roll and it's just, kind of dry. And it has cinnamon and some icing on it. Not these. She made these, and I think she added heavy cream to them. And there was definitely butter in them. And a lot of icing. And man, there was so much there was enough there that they weren't dry, I'll say that. Hey, I really like blackberry cobbler. Really any kind of cobbler, but blackberry cobbler, blueberry cobbler, peach cobbler. Spices, salty stuff like potato chips, Cheetos, Doritos, etc. Even like the regular chips and stuff like that, I don't do anymore. I've got certain things that I'll eat. So over here beside me, I've got the white cheddar. What are they called? Hang on, I may have to open the bag to see what the name is on it. Turn around here. Oh, let me open them up. Let's see, what are they called? Simply. They're called the Simply Cheetos. I think you can get them. I think you can get different chips in the Simply stuff. You can get like maybe some regular potato chips, stuff like that. But these Simply ones are just basically what it implies. They don't have like the extra stuff to them. That and the new Naked stuff. So the Naked Cool Ranch chips. They do make the nacho cheese Dorito ones, but I tried those and I didn't care for those too much. But the Naked Cool Ranch Dorito chips and the Naked Cheetos, those are made without any artificial stuff. No dyes, nothing like that. Yeah. Yeah, I like those. They actually had a, I think you can still buy the little snack size bags of this bag of nuts. And I'm trying to remember what the name of the nuts were. It was like, as another thing, probably labeled as like Simply Nuts or something like that. But it had like almonds in it, it had cashews, it had pistachios, it had different little mix of nuts in there. Peanuts were in there too, I think. It was like just a little mixed thing of nuts. That was actually really good. Good morning, Andrew. How's it going? Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the original Cool Ranch chips now, they have like a kind of an oily film to them now. I probably should have put my thing out. Hang on, Fuzzy, we'll just stop down here. Thinking about all these chips. Yeah, they have like a oily kind of film to them. Making sodas dirty? Was that just adding alcohol to it or something? Now my sodas are zero sodas. I drink the zero Dr. Peppers and then I drink the zero orange sodas. I miss the original 3D Doritos. Not the ones they just brought back recently. Because those were spicy or something. They tried to do something different with them. They need to bring back the original Dorito 3D chips. Those were good back in the day. Back in the, late 90s, early 2000s when they had those. Those were good back then. Regular Doritos were good back then. You know, every now and then you would come across a Cool Ranch Dorito chip that had like extra ranch seasoning stuff on it. So like the little blue and red stuff that comes on a Cool Ranch Dorito chip. You'd have one that had like a lot on it. Those were the bee's knees. Those were cool. And now it's like you might see just a tiny few little specks on it. Alright, actually, you know what? Let me cut another inrow here. like the good old faithful nacho cheese Dorito? Yeah. I still like bugles. The cheese bugles are really good. They make different flavors of that one too. But my go-tos are the Simply White Cheddar Cheetos and the barbecue honey. Now they're called the honey barbecue sun chips. I like those. What I'm gonna do, I think it'll give me a 2 in row option. Actually, give me a 1 in row option that would have worked. Turn that off. And I'm gonna hire this guy out. Hopefully he'll start right where I stopped there. Nope. I'll have to go back and get that one pass. Well, because I did the 1 in row. Actually, you know what? Let me change that to 1. Then he should do 1. Right there, sir. Change that back to 1. And not actually cut the in rows. Should start right here now. Should. I may have to leave the field and come back. Let me leave the field and come back. Hang on. Do the whole dance of disconnecting the header and reconnecting it. Yep, there we go. Turn all that off. Automatic. Now let's see. Are you gonna start right there, or are you gonna go way over there? Nope, he's gonna go over here. He's still reading the original thing that I put on there for the 2 in row thing. Maybe he'll come back and cut that 1 pass. But I'm gonna hire this guy out, let him do that, and then I'm gonna take my first break here, guys. You guys over on YouTube, we'll see you in the next video. We'll come back and hopefully be done with this field very soon. Move on to those other fields, and then we'll probably get in to build our dryer in the next one. And maybe if we have time, do some mowing around these fields, because there's some grass around these fields that we can cut. Alright, so until the next time, YouTube, remember you reap what you sow. It's Matt from the Grain Arcade. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, YouTube. Bye.